as Marty Clarke will strap on the headset. And, well, let's hear from the coach. Brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, proud partner of St. Mary's Athletics. That one wasn't easy.
No, certainly a slug, that one. No, I don't think we were, I wouldn't say at our prime physically, maybe after the emotional win over BYU, but always tough to come on the road in this league and have an easy game. You're just not going to get one. I mean, that's just how it is. But in the end, we did what we needed to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw USF give Gonzaga problems a couple nights ago. And this is, I mean, Kyle Smith has this team playing really hard.
Yeah.
Give them a couple. I think they're going to be a pretty good club in a couple years. But to your guys and how they responded to that pressure, especially like you said, starting off a little bit slow and maybe a little bit choppy even offensively. And boy, the second half, I mean, things just really turned around for you. And Jock really got going, and he was able to find guys out of the post.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously the starting centre for USF is an Australian kid too, and no doubt there was a little bit of.
Did you coach him, by the way?
No, I hadn't coached Matt. No,
I meant to ask you that.
I knew Matt, but had never coached him. But he's really improved. You know, he's got a good post game. He's a good athlete and he's strong. I would think there was some sort of bragging rights on the table there. He certainly came out hard to start with, and we found it difficult to get Jock the ball. But once he got it down there, he was pretty efficient again.
Let me ask you this: Do you think that other Australians in the NCAA play harder against St. Not necessarily play harder, but do you think there's a chip on their shoulder when they face St. Mary's?
No doubt. Certainly, there's players that would like to be able to come, but you can't take all the Australians. I mean, I would say that about a couple of other guys there too. I mean, Jordan Rotino played well. He's a local guy. He's in the East Bay area, and again, he's a good player. We'd like to have him, but we didn't have that spot for him, and I would say he came out and probably had that in the back of his mind too. And that's a natural thing. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport or part of life you're in. If you're denied, in inverted commas, by someone, you want to come and show them what they're missing out on.
What did you see that USF was doing defensively in the first half? They were really active in that first half, and I think they forced 7 first half turnovers, maybe 8 in the second half actually too. Yeah. But they were really active, really for the whole game, but especially in that first half before you guys made the adjustment. Yeah,
they were certainly aggressive on the ball screen and trying to force it away from it and have their big show high on it, so you can't cut it back. I thought they did a good job of trying to deny the ball in the post, not just the low post, but also through the elbow. And just pushed us a step and a half away from where you really want to get it. And then they stayed at home on shooters, and we've seen that from a couple of teams now. I mean, they helped on the post with their 4-man, and we probably didn't take as much advantage of that as we should. And that's where the game really should come to Fitzy. If his man's helping, he has to be ready to catch and shoot it, and he has to be confident enough to drill it. You do that twice, and they've got to change their style. Or they don't have to. If they don't, he keeps going. But it was nice to see Dane knock down another 3, and that was an important one late in the clock. And
Tanner Krebs a couple big ones too.
Tanner Krebs had a
He's playing really well.
Yeah, he is playing well. I thought he did a nice job again tonight. I mean, especially Calvin had those 3 early fouls and then picked up a 4th one as soon as he went back in again. It's nice to have someone in your pocket to say, okay, well, Tanner, we know we can go and do the job. And the job is as much defensively as anything else. We know Tanner can play offense. We know he can make 3s and hit another couple today. But it's the other end of the floor that you're always more concerned about. Who are these players who haven't played lots of minutes? Who are they going to go and guard and be able to defend them to the level we need them to defend to?
How much, I mean, we talk about adjustments, and, USF shot for the first half 50%, but how much of those shots did you look at and say, is this sustainable for 40 minutes? Because they hit some really tough shots.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you always think that as a coach, they're going to start missing soon. And some games they just don't. Some games players just keep making those shots. And even towards the end, I mean, Ronnie Boyce hit some shots, but my goodness, they were over.
One over Landale.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There was another one going baseline, and there's a nice layup, but they were tough shots, and it really looked like the offense started to stop when it went into his hands because he had a hot hand, so I thought, I'm going to try and create a shot. And in the end, that probably fell our own way because it just stagnated them offensively a little bit, even though he was making shots.
Yeah, that one he had over Land, I think that almost took a light bulb out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, on the ceiling here. But he had it going. But, again, I mean, credit your guys for sticking with it and not helping off too much onto him, right? Because you don't want to help off too much onto a guy that's hot.
Absolutely. I mean, if he's hot and he draws all the attention, he starts throwing it around, now everybody gets to shoot it, and now everyone starts feeling good about himself. You got to you got to ride through those periods and hope that the guys that aren't getting a touch start to lose their rhythm, and that's essentially what happened. But yeah, he made some big hoops for him.
I thought especially in the second half, it was very apparent who the veteran team was in this game because USF had a tough time guarding without fouling. And your guys, it seemed like your guys recognized that and took it at the spots where they had to either foul or pick up the fourth foul on Renfro was huge in this game.
Yeah, and just I thought we controlled the tempo the last 10 minutes of the game really well. Certainly once it got to 9 and we were 5 minutes to go, it really made them have to chase and do some things that earlier in the game they probably weren't doing, which allowed us to either get scores or them foul and us get to the foul line. And in the end, veteran guard players, it's hard to describe how important it is, especially when you're playing really only a 4 or 5 year age difference. I mean, obviously at a professional level or open men's level, everyone's veterans. But here, the difference between a veteran guard combination and a good young guard combination isn't in the skill level, it's in the understanding of the game.
How do you balance that? I mean, you talk about the veteran guards and obviously you want to get Jordan Ford some time to learn on the job. How do you try and balance that in game? I mean, you're trying to balance, you're not trying to balance minutes, but certainly you want Jordan to get a taste of this because, I mean, he's shown the chops that he can run the show at some point in his career.
No doubt, and that's where he is right at the moment. I mean, he's shown he has the skill and the athleticism and the understanding of the game in the play, as in that play phase. Now it's understanding the game as the greater game and being able to manufacture possessions and string 2 or 3 possessions together to manufacture scores 2 and 3 plays in a row. Okay, this is what they're doing, this is where they're helping from. We know what they're doing, we'll take this one, the next one, this is going to be open. That's just experience, and that's why we keep putting him in. And we keep putting him in because he's good. Yeah. But he needs to be in those pressure situations.
I thought he had some good. I mean, and sometimes you have to learn, not necessarily from, obviously not from succeeding, but he those last few minutes in the first half, he had a couple rough sequences. But I think in the long run, those are good for him.
Absolutely. I mean, it's it's fool's gold if you go every time you go on and everything's great, because eventually it's not going to be great, and it's going to be hard against the really good teams, and we want to be able to prepare our team and our players individually for the games that really matter. I'm not saying this one didn't matter, but the games that really matter are those at the end of the season in conference play and then in postseason play.
Tanner Krebs, we talk about guys that, balancing minutes here. I mean, how big has the last couple of weeks been for him? Yeah. Because he was ready for his moment tonight when Calvin Hermanson was saddled to the bench with 4 fouls.
Absolutely. I mean, he stepped on there. We didn't miss a beat. I thought he did a really nice job defensively. Offensively, got to the spots he needed to, got the ball moving, and when he was open, he made shots. And he's benefiting now from the last couple of games where we've been able to get him in and get him used to the tempo of the game, and he's going to be a really good player for us.
No question about it. Well, this one's got to feel good. Certainly you had to grind this one out a little bit, and a few days rest now before we head on up to the Northwest.
Yeah, it would be an awful bus trip heading back across the Bay Bridge if you didn't get a win down here.
No question. Coach, thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the plane, I guess, on Tuesday. Wednesday?
Wednesday. We go Wednesday to Portland, so long as there's no snow and ice up there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll knock on wood, huh?
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Marty Clarke joining us on our Let's Hear from the Coach segment. Thanks again. Brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, proud partner of St. Mary's Athletics, as we wait for Joe Rahon, who's going to be our Crown Plaza player of the game after his evening tonight. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Here he is. And Joe hustles on over. Sorry, that took a little while.
Is Marty talking your ear off again?
I mean, you get it, right? It's hard to stop him once he gets going. There's the final box for you.
I hear that.
You don't wear that chain during the game, right?
No.
Okay.
First thing I put on afterwards.
Okay, well, hey, I mean, this one was not easy. They played really hard, and they were really active defensively there, especially in the first half. Was the adjustment just so much as kind of, allowing Jock some space to do his thing and just him being patient? And once they kind of collapsed, you guys were able to knock down some shots.
Yeah, it was kind of the adjustments, just ball movement, player movement. We got a little static there, and in the first half they did a good job of kind of fronting Jock and made it hard to immediately enter it. And I kind of froze us, and we tried to get in an on-ball. And we made a few adjustments with our on-ball coming on, the way us guards came off it. Marty gave us some good tips at halftime. So that was also an adjustment. But, yeah, we just kind of flow, and that's kind of what our offense is about, teams might be able to guard us for 10, 15, 20, 30, even 30 minutes, but we talk about attrition all the time, whether it's penetrating and kicking out, second penetration, or if it's just feeding our big guys, Jock and Dane down low. And for 40 minutes, we feel like we're hard to guard if we keep playing basketball the way we know how. So in the second half, we were able to get into a little rhythm there, and we started to score a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you noticed it. I mean, 40 minutes and 30 seconds at a time, because a lot of the times these teams are going to have to defend you 20 to 30 seconds down the floor each time. And you said it, by the end of the game there, USF was kind of chasing you a little bit.
Right. And they teams will adjust, and they'll try different things, and we got to try different things for them. It's a lot of count and malice, especially when you get into these conference games. And Coach Smith over there, USF, he knows us really well. So you just kind of keep grinding, and we knew this might be one of the top. This is one of the better teams in the league. They're really good. They play hard. So coming in here getting a win, it feels good. It was a tough test for us.
Defensively, you drew Boyce, and how much of that do you look at? And yeah, exactly. But how much of that do you look at and ask yourself, is this sustainable? And I asked Marty the same thing. He was hitting some tough shots. I mean, it looked like you guys had a lot of those defended pretty well, but he really has an knack for scoring the basketball.
Yep.
And I mean, is that something where you guys say, hey, we don't have to help off too much here, because eventually the degree of difficulty of these shots, but all these aren't going to fall at some point?
No, he's a really good player, very talented offensive player for sure. Some of it I didn't do a good enough job guarding him one-on-one, keeping the ball out of his right hand, keeping him from getting to the basket. But then I was able to make an adjustment, and my teammates did a great job. Our big guys started helping a little longer on the screens for me so I can get back in front. Sometimes guys are at this level, guys are really good at basketball, and if they get hot and they get going, sometimes your contest doesn't matter. So I was kind of telling the guys, hey, it's my fault. I'm going to keep working. And they were nothing but encouraging, and they helped me out a lot. And, law of averages, you just hope. If he keeps taking those tough shots, maybe he'll miss some. And we got lucky, and he ended up missing some down the stretch for us. But he's a great player and a tough cover.
Dane Pinot, again, came in and played a huge role for you guys. He really scored a lot for the first time this year tonight. I mean, I don't know where you'd be in that BYU game without him, because I think Mika and Jock would have kind of worn each other down. But in this ball game, a number of huge boards. He hit a big three, and he had a couple big putbacks. I mean, he has been invaluable to you guys, especially on the defensive end.
Oh, Dane's a stud. We always talk Dane's the best defender in the league, in our opinion. Obviously, we're a little biased, but we'll stack him up against anybody. And he plays so hard. He's so smart. And he's just the ultimate teammate. He comes off the bench. You don't hear a word about it. Starts all year last year, comes off the bench now, and you wouldn't be able to tell. And when he comes in, he kind of changes the game for us. We go big, and he had 12 rebounds. Jock had 11. That's big time. Our bigs helped us out, and he's a stud. We feel like he's an all-league caliber player, and like I said, the best defender in the league. So whenever he's out there, the score generally goes the right way for us, and our defensive intensity picks up a little bit, and we start to get a little more offensive rebounds. So we wouldn't be close to as good as we can be without Dane. So. He's big time.
You can see Tanner Krebs start to get the ball rolling a little bit now. I mean, he kind of had a choppy start to the season.
He can really shoot it.
Man, he's feeling confident now.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a stud. And it's tough. I've been there. I redshirted, and then your first few games coming back, and he's not getting probably the most minutes the minutes he's used to playing when he was playing back in Australia. So, coming in for those short spurts and being expected to come in and knock down shots, it's not an easy adjustment. But we were trying to be positive with him. Coach did a great job of just keeping him confident, and now we're starting to see the kind of player that he can be. He can really shoot it in practice and pick up. We all know. We all told him, hey, just keep letting that thing fly. Law of averages says you're gonna make over 40% of them, and he's starting to shoot it really well. And he hit 2 huge threes for us that helped us win the game.
How big was recognition of foul trouble in this game? Because when you drew that 4th foul on Renfro, I thought that kind of changed things a little bit.
Yeah, it's big. And the way they were playing us, they were kind of daring our guards to get to the rim and dared us to finish. So. They put a bigger guy on me, that Renfro, and just tried to get into his body to protect the ball around the rim, and we were able to give him foul trouble, and that changed the game a little bit too. And if teams start to stay out and try to take away our shooting, we only got 12 3-point attempts up today, which is pretty low for us. Then us guards or Jock, whoever, we're gonna have to be able to get to the rim and finish through contact. So it was big to get him out of the game. It kind of made them play a little different lineup than they wanted to, and. It worked out well for us.
One thing that hasn't changed for you is on the defensive end. Last one before I let you go. Talk to Evan about this. Talk to Dane about this, too. Jordan Hunter came like a bat out of hell to win fantasy football for you this season.
Don't talk.
And you were the guy. No, we got to get your thoughts here, Joe. You were the guy If you want to take a parting shot and walk off, that's fine. I understand.
here's
I've been on the wrong end of those, too.
Here's the deal. For some reason, Emmett was our league commissioner, and he decided to make a 10-team league, 8 teams make the playoffs.
I mean,
so
it's like the NHL.
all of a sudden, someone gets hot. Jordan Hunter squeaks in the 7th seed, just squeaks in. And then all of a sudden, he wins a couple games. And then he plays me, the best team in the league, in the finals. And by that time, I had 3 starters out. So all of a sudden, he's playing a decimated my team in the finals, and he beats me by like 10 points. So I blame the league commissioner, Emmett, for letting 8 teams make it the playoffs in a 10-team league, and that's all I'm going to say about it. That's
fun, though. I mean, it's like I was telling Evan, I still play fantasy football with the guys I played baseball with at St. Mary's 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
So
it's great. It's the greatest. It's so entertaining. It makes watching football so much more fun.
No, and brings everybody together.
Yeah, no doubt.
Joe, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
See you next week.
See you Thursday.
Yep, absolutely. That's Joe Rahon, our Crown Plaza Concord player of the game.